Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chilling story. Now let's dive into story number 1, The Hollow Circle. I've been watching your channel for a while now, and after hearing a bunch of the stories people send in, I figured it was finally time to share mine. Or rather, my family's. This is something that's been passed down for generations, but it's not a bedtime story. At least not the kind with a happy ending. My grandmother used to tell me this late at night, when the power would go out during summer storms. She always told it the same way. Her voice would drop, her hands would go still, and even though she laughed about it afterward, I could see in her eyes that she believed every word. And after what happened to me years later, so do I. This happened in Black Hollow, West Virginia. Back in the early 1900s, long before there were paved roads or satellite maps, there was a small logging camp deep in those woods. Men would come from all over for work, rough types mostly, drifters and loners with strong backs and few questions. The land was thick with trees and the forest always seemed too quiet. Birds didn't sing the same, deer didn't linger. They say the place had a way of watching you. Now, among the crew was a young man named Eli Cobb, barely 18th, not as hardened as the rest. He was known for being curious, asking questions about the land, the stars, the sounds he heard at night. Most of the older loggers thought he was annoying. My great-uncle was one of them, said Eli had eyes like a baby owl and a mouth that wouldn't quit. Anyway, one evening, while gathering kindling a ways from camp, Eli stumbled upon something strange. He told the others about it over dinner, said he found a perfect ring of mushrooms deep in a mossy clearing, said it looked like something had landed there from the sky. But it wasn't a burn mark. It was alive. A ring of white mushrooms, round, damp, too clean. That's when one of the old-timers, the only local in the crew, spoke up, said it was a fairy ring and that Eli should leave it alone. Now, most people think of fairies like little winged ladies with wands, but not in the Appalachian folk stories. The good folk, as my grandmother called them, are older than God and crueler than devils. Not evil exactly, just other, unknowable, mischievous at best, malicious when offended. The man told Eli, if you see a ring in the forest, don't step inside, don't talk near it, and for the love of your soul, don't dance in it. Of course, Eli laughed, said it was a patch of mushrooms, nothing more. That night after dinner, he went back and stepped inside. He told the crew the next day that it was no big deal, that it felt like the air got heavy, and that he heard something weird, like distant music, flutes, he said, laughter in the trees. But it stopped when he left the ring. That night, Eli didn't return to his tent. They searched for days. Dogs were brought in. The trail led to the ring, then stopped cold, as if he'd simply vanished. On the fourth day, just after sunset, Eli walked back into camp. Only something was wrong. He looked the same, but not really. His eyes were glassy, unfocused. He smiled constantly, but not with his mouth. His lips barely moved. He spoke softly, in short, slow sentences, like he was trying to remember how to be human. And worse, there was an echo behind his voice, a tiny delay, like someone else was speaking the same words just behind him. He said the woods had taken care of him, that he'd been fed and taught music, that he'd danced beneath the hollow hill. Nobody laughed anymore. That night, one of the crew vanished. No sign of struggle. His bedroll was untouched, but a fresh mushroom ring had grown just outside his tent. The next night it happened again. One by one, they disappeared, and each time a new ring would appear, always the same size, always white, always wet. By the end of the week, Most of the crew fled. Some ran through the night and never stopped. The rest tried to confront Eli, but when they did, he just stared at them and hummed that same song, that same damn tune no one had ever heard before. He didn't follow them, didn't fight. He just watched. When the townsfolk finally returned to the camp weeks later, the whole site was overgrown. Trees that shouldn't have grown that fast now towered over the old logging sheds. The forest had reclaimed everything except the rings. There were 12 of them, arranged in a pattern that made no sense, burned into the moss like scars. Eli was never seen again. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm sending this to you. A few years ago, I went hiking near the hollow. Not in it. I'm not that stupid, but near enough. And I swear on everything I have, I saw a ring just off the trail, a small one. I froze. My legs didn't want to move. I felt like something behind me was holding its breath. The birds were gone. The breeze stopped. All I could hear was this faint music way off in the trees. Flutes, laughing, footsteps on wet moss. I didn't go near it. I turned around, walked fast, never looked back. And ever since then, I've had dreams, not nightmares, just strange dreams of standing in a clearing, of music under the earth, of a hand reaching out from the dark and asking me if I want to dance. Sometimes I wake up and find dirt on my sheets, mud on my socks, even when I haven't left the house. And once last winter, I swear I woke up humming that song. I don't know how I knew it, but my lips were moving before I even opened my eyes. That's why I'm writing to you. I don't need help. I just want people to know this story, to understand that not everything in the woods is meant to be found. If you ever find yourself deep in the forest and you see a ring of mushrooms that's too perfect to be natural, leave it alone. Don't talk near it. Don't step inside. And whatever you do, don't dance. Because some circles were never meant to be entered, and some stories were never meant to have an ending. Thanks for watching. If you like these scary stories, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. New horrors drop every week. So don't forget to hit the bell icon. It really helps the channel grow. Have a story of your own? Or something you'd never dare to explain? Tell me in the comments or email it to me.